Well, David, you just tested the Ford Mustang EV. I guess it's a concept of what would be a race car for an EV for a Ford Mustang. So tell us a little bit about what it is and what it was like testing it here at North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, the Ford Mach-E, it's a full electric vehicle, over 1,000 horsepower. It's on the same chassis and it has the same suspension parts and pieces as the current Cup car, the current Gen 7 car. So it feels really similar from a handling and a driving perspective. Obviously not having an engine, and it's really quiet, got a tremendous amount of torque and a lot of power. It's an all-wheel drive car, so 2 electric motors in the rear, 1 electric motor in the front, and there's a lot of bells and whistles. There's a lot of functions that I can do inside the race car as far as switching from different power curves, different brake regeneration possibilities, and obviously adjusting some of the rear wheel drive and front wheel drive torque split. So yeah, today was a little shakedown just to make sure some of the functions work. We'll kind of do the same thing tomorrow. We need a little bit longer straightaway to really get the speed of this race car, but yeah, that was fun to make a couple of laps and do a little burnout. Got a little reaction from the race fans, but yeah, the race car looks really cool. I drive a Mach-E as my daily driver, and I've fallen in love with that car around town and doing what I need to do as a husband and a dad of a couple of kids. But yeah, it's neat to have the prototype here. Ford and NASCAR and the other OEMs have kind of worked to develop, what that might look like down the road. And so I think we've just really scratched the surface for the look, the potential, and the performance of what an EV race car would look like.
Obviously, nothing's official yet, but what are you guys working towards as far as the use of the car?
Well, I think for the time being, it's just going to be a demonstrator to have some fun, educate the race fans, and kind of learn what technologies out there to build the battery, to build the race car, the charging system. I think NASCAR's made it really clear that nothing's going to change in the NASCAR divisions in the next several years. But as the world around us changes, motorsports will eventually evolve, and I don't know if that's a 5 or 10 or 15 year runway, but I guarantee you in the next 5 or 10 years, our parking lots are going to look a lot different from what the race fans are driving. It certainly looks different in my house, what's sitting in my driveway. But no, I love race cars. I love going fast, and this is just another option for stuff out there. And I think that the race fans, they enjoy seeing cars that are fast and look cool and look a little different. I'm glad they chose the crossover utility vehicle body style. I think that's a really good looking car, and so each OEM's kind of got their own style for what they envision.
You mentioned it being an all-wheel drive race car, so that's something different than what we typically have in NASCAR. How much different is it to drive?
Yeah, it is a lot different to drive. It obviously has a lot of power, but it has a lot of adjustability. So I think depending on the types of track, maybe your driving style, what kind of power level that you're racing at, there's just a lot of adjustability there.
And one more for you. You did a John Force style burnout down the front straightaway. You got, like you said, you got the woos from the fans. Was that fun?
Well, I was going to try to do an all-wheel drive burnout, but it was a little hard to handle. And so you got an inside wall and the outside wall here at North Wilkesboro. So I didn't have too much wiggle room, and we don't need to scratch this car up any. So I shifted to rear-wheel drive, and with over 1,000 horsepower, it'll burn the rear tires off. And they told me don't cord the rear tires and don't blow a rear tire out. So I didn't know how much I had, but like I said, a little warm up for tomorrow.